know how I'm going to feel about this video because I've not put much makeup on and I've got ready in a bit of a rush so that I can film before we go do our walk, and then when I come home I can sunbathe because it's glorious outside. But I thought I'd do a Q&A today. I know I said I was going to do a homeware haul. Nothing has even been dispatched, which obviously in the circumstances I should have thought about. Hopefully there will be a homeware haul soon, but yeah, I should have thought about that. We are in a pandemic. I filmed one of these back in December and I feel bad because I hate being that person that's like, oh, I'm gonna do a Q&A, send me your questions, and then doesn't do it. But I know I've mentioned it and we had a rough time after Christmas and I just couldn't bear to edit it. I couldn't bear to look through it at this like formally chirpy happy person after Christmas when I felt rubbish. But I left it and I'm gonna do it now. Now we sort of feel a bit better and more hopeful, even though we are in the middle of a pandemic now. Marvellous. I mean, this one's quite a deep one for the first question, but first one is, what is something you regret? I think I regret not being more confident as a younger person, and I think that's all well and good to say as someone who's a bit older now and more confident. But I think at the time when you're like 20 and you're terrified of the world, I mean I was, I know a lot of 20-year-olds aren't, but I think that's one thing I look back on now and think I should have done things sooner, like I should have done things earlier and been braver and a bit more ballsier, but I wasn't that kind of ballsy person. I wouldn't really focus on like specific things to be like, oh, I wish I'd not done that, because I've done it, so I'm buggered, aren't I? There's quite a few fashion ones as well in here, so I'll do those too. It's not going to be all like deep stuff, don't worry. One of them is best nude bra for white tops. This one is great. So this is from Weekday and it's just like a really nice stretch comfortable top. They go great under stuff like this or something like this. It's very similar. I think that was from ASOS. It's an old one, it's probably covered in fake tan, and they sit really nice and make your boobs look a nice shape and they don't show. So yeah, I think those would be what I'd recommend. Are you happy with your body or do you feel pressure to look good? I think that's like a bit of both, because obviously in the industry that I am in there's a lot of pressure, and you know that should you put on a few pounds someone's going to tell you, when you lose a few pounds someone's going to tell you. There's no escape from it and people are going to know, and I don't really mind. I'm sort of like, I don't really mind where I am weight wise as long as I'm healthy, but I know for other people it can be an issue for them and they want to comment on it or ask about it, and I think as well some people are just interested. So I think there's pressure from that side. Like from me, I don't really mind as long as I'm healthy. And that sort of leads on to the next one, which is the biggest question that I get. What is your weight and height? Height wise, I'm about 5'5". I'm just under 5'5" actually, but pretty average. Weight, I mean, it makes me quite sad that the main question is what do you weigh, and I know that it is a big thing for people and people want to know. I'm somewhere between 8 stone and 9 stone at various times. I just think it's not always relevant person to person. Like, people are so different. How much does my leg weigh? Like my bones in my leg? I don't know. It's not a direct comparison, you know what I mean? Like I can't say to you this is what I weigh and this is what another 5'5" person should weigh, because we're just, everybody's a little bit different. Do you buy most of the clothes you style yourself or are the majority gifted? I don't have that much gifted because I don't need clothes. I know that sounds like super like first world problems, but I don't need more clothes and it's excessive and seems daft. So unless it's something that I desperately wanted myself, like I don't really accept that much gifting. How do you improve as a blogger on Instagram? I think making content that you like to look at is important. So the type of content that you look at is kind of like your expert field, because that's what you look at all the time. So I think doing your version of that, like thinking, oh, I could do this differently or I could do something like this, I think that's a good way to approach it. Oh, one of the things that I would say as well, there's loads of tips and tricks on TikTok at the minute. So there's loads of things for like Instagram stories, stuff like that. There's loads of things for like quick editing. So I think that's a really good way to sort of up your game a bit on Instagram if you want to just sort of know how to do like fancy little edits and stuff like that. How are you, Dan and Coco, doing? I hope you're coping okay. Oh, that's so nice. We're good, I think. And I feel like privileged to say that like we are lucky that we can say that we're doing all right in this. Better than how we started the year, and I think other than life being a bit on pause, like we're pretty happy, and there are aspects of sort of this time that we're enjoying. I think it's just sort of remembering it's a temporary situation, even if it's going to be quite a long temporary situation. Like even 2 years is going to pass. I'm not saying it's going to be 2 years, don't worry. But I'm just saying, like, even if this is something that would pop up again in a year's time or whatever, it will pass. Time will pass. How do you edit your pictures? At the minute, I'll pop them here. I use Lightroom, Snapseed, Facetune is great. There's lots of nice little detail tools and things like that. I use QuickShot, that's quite nice for like little dust effects. Prequel's really nice, that's quite a new one that I've been using, but that's really good for different edits and stuff. I think that's it really, just those sort of ones. Top 3 favourite luxury designers. I've only got a few designer bits, so I'll probably just pick the few things I've got. So I'd probably say Dior, because everything's pretty, even though it's not always stuff that I'd have. I just think it's pretty. Then maybe YSL and then Prada, I think. Where's your jewellery from? The bits that I'm wearing a lot at the minute, this is my Soma. Then I've got my Fitbit watch, not interesting really. That one is my Soma as well, so that came in like a 2-pack. And then these are little sentimental ones that I wear all the time. This one I got for I think my 16th birthday from my mum, and it says, "Always my daughter, now to my friend." And then the next one is a bracelet that I bought from Tiffany's in New York when I went with my mum, and she bought one as well, so I always have those on. My rings are my Soma, and the necklace, I think that is Rock and Rose, and I've been wearing that one pretty much all the time. Oh, my earrings are my Soma too. I've just got my Soma there. I think that's Astrid and Miu. What is your favourite part of your job? I don't know, I like all things about my job. I think that, I mean, there's some bits that I moan about. I think everyone moans about the job, and then it is very first world problems, but there's so many things when I have to like actually think about what I love about it. There's loads of things. It's such a nice job to do. I'm very lucky, and I think it's a job that when I look back I'll be like, yeah, you were a bad bitch back then, and I don't feel like that now. But I feel like when I'm like 70 and grey, I'll think, oh, what, how fun, like when you were younger, to do that and like go to the places that you've been to and do the things that I do, even though I end up spending most of it in this bedroom filming stuff. Meeting nice people, like I've met so many nice people through my job, and like industry people that are interested in things that I'm interested in, like fashion and things like that. I love meeting people like that. So yeah, I think there's loads of things that are nice about being in this world, and it's quite nice to think about it actually, and makes you appreciate it a bit more. Are you vegan? I'm not vegan, I'm pescatarian, and I know sometimes I say vegetarian because it's hard to explain pescatarian to people around here. Like where I live, it's just easy to say I'm vegetarian. It's like my grandma, nanans and family and stuff. Having to explain pescatarian every time is difficult. But I am pescatarian. I'd say we're probably 80% vegetarian, 50% vegan. We're definitely trying to use more sort of vegan products, removing like cow's milk and things like that. So it's something that I want to work on, and we went pescatarian last year, and I'd like to be better and doing a bit more. So yeah, that's what we're currently at. What's your most favourite fashion hack? I love your content, by the way, that's cute. It's the jeans with the tie thing. I know some people are like, it doesn't work. I love it, it's great. It's changed my jeans. Weird one, but I heard Dan has type 1. Any advice for those who are also family to diabetics? Dan is type 1 diabetic. I think I've mentioned it on here. And he didn't tell me for months. Can you believe this? When I first met Dan, he did not tell me he was diabetic for maybe 4 months. I just thought he used to have like weird times, like it was just a bit strange, because when he does go low he can be a bit odd, and obviously now I just know he's low, but when I first met him I was like, this guy's a bit of a weirdo. So he didn't tell me until I caught him eating loads of chocolate for breakfast one day, and I was like, you're not diabetic, are you? And he is. We sort of get on with it fine now. It's when I first met Dan he was not handling his sugar very well. I think he didn't spend as much time with someone like as close as he does with me now. He'd not had that sort of person to be like, I don't think this is normal. Now he's got a freestyle Libra, whatever they are, great, honestly, life-changing for me and him, obviously so much more for him, but you just get anxious about it, and for me to just like make him scan his arm is so much easier. And I think just to have loads of chocolate on you at all times, or he has like glucose sweets, so I've always got chocolate in my bag, I've always got sweets or like an apple juice, and I think you just get used to it. It's just our normal now, and we don't really think anything of it. Were you scared when you started this? I did it in private for a long time, so I started it at uni, and my uni friends didn't know about it. This is years ago, and then I sort of told them and everybody found out, and I think you get used to it. I don't think it's that silly anymore. I don't think people find it that funny, because I think a lot of people do things like this, so I think there's nothing to be laughed at about someone wanting to like be productive and do something. So yeah, I wouldn't feel daft about starting something like this. How's the hair growth going? What are you using to help? This is my hair now. I'll try and insert a little picture so that you see what it looked like when I first took my extensions out. I think it's just like the initial month, you need like a few weeks to let it just sort itself out. I've been using the Grow Gorgeous products, they're really good, and just trying to not heat style it as much. I've been using a lot of the sort of non-heat styling methods, like the dressing gown thing, stuff like that, and I think that's helped loads. I've not had it bleached in ages either. I've not had it bleached since I took my extensions out, which is why it's so dark. What do you usually eat? I've got what I eat in a day video, but I might do an updated one if people would like to see that, or I might do it on Instagram. I think an average day, I tend to have like yogurt for breakfast, then I'll have a little sandwich or salad for lunch, and then for dinner a vegetarian ready meal. Or, oh, we have like a pasta bake quite often for tea that Dan makes as like on a Sunday, like a vegetarian pasta bake. Snacks wise, I tend to have a couple of pieces of chocolate, stuff like that, or like little mini pots of ice cream. What do you ever think about doing an eco-friendly second-hand outfit vid? I definitely want to do this. I want to do stuff like this, but it's quite difficult at the minute because I really want to start doing some charity shop stuff. Can't go to charity shops currently, and there's not many sustainable brands out there. It's quite difficult to find them, and particularly find them in like the price point that I know people would be interested in, so that's hard. But I am researching all these things, and I don't want it to go like it's not noticed that this is something that I should be addressing. So it's stuff that I'm kind of trying to educate myself on and using this time to do better. I wanted to do loads of upcycling, so when the charity shop's open I'll be there. How's it been spending quarantine as a couple? To be honest, we're doing better than I expected. That doesn't mean that, like, you know when you've seen these couples that look like they're having a great time, like, don't be thinking they're not arguing, because they are. We've argued about little stuff, we've argued about big stuff, but I think on the whole we are appreciating the really nice times together. But I think like everybody misses different relationship dynamics, like the different relationships that you have. So I just think don't look at couples that look perfect and assume they are perfect, because they're not. We have good days, we've had bad days, and it's just sort of getting through it together. Right, we'll finish on a fashion one. So what are 3 tips you always have in mind at the time you choose your daily outfit? I usually have like an image in my mind of what I'd like to look like, so it's probably something I've seen on Pinterest, or something like an outfit that I'd like to recreate. I think that's a good place to start. Then I think I'd go for my basics, so like the accessories that I really want to wear, because I think they're the things that I always like pick the same stuff, so like my belt, my bag, or maybe like a simple top, something like that I want to wear, or a colour. And then I think I'd go with little jewellery bits. I think my last tip would be to find that accessories that sort of elevate it a bit and make it a bit fancier. I'm gonna go now anyway, because I feel like I've done enough questions, and I'm hoping that was enough of the stuff that you wanted to know. I will pop any links to things that I've mentioned below. If you would like to subscribe, that would be really nice. I'm enjoying doing the videos actually over quarantine time, and I hope in like 5 years we'll look back on this and be like, oh, that's what we were doing while we were stuck in the houses. But yeah, everything will be below, and I will see you all soon. Bye.